What are you doing? Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David.
I'm Gary. Hey,
And Gary's doing the Isaac
my inner Isaac.
Isaac the bartender
That's
thing
right.
from Love Boat, just to throw you back to the late 70s.
Yeah, baby. So that's what we did on our Saturday nights.
So Erika Kirk is Charlie Kirk's widow. She spoke yesterday for the first time after the shooting, and she had some strong feelings and strong words that she was sharing with the listening audience. And Gary will have some direct quotes, but at a real high level, she's very passionate. She wants to carry on her husband's work, and she will probably stop at very little to ensure that the evildoers that did this to her husband, trying to silence his message, will find a formidable foe in her and the organization that she plans on leading. Turn it over to Gary from more.
So she wants to make sure that her husband did not die in vain, and she wants to keep his message going. And this is the quote that kind of caught my attention. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's love, she said. They should all know this. If you thought my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you have unleashed across this country and this world. And then she added, you have no idea the fire that you have ignited within his wife.
Yep.
So
her battle cry will be heard around the world, or something along those lines.
So I get the passion and the fire.
Sure.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There are those that would argue about maybe Charlie Kirk's messages that he preached.
You think?
But let's just go with her message. Let's just assume that her truth, her ace of swords is he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and God's love. Okay.
That's certainly one way to look at it.
Yep, that's one way. It's
an interesting God. My God's a little bit different, but okay.
That whole compassion, acceptance.
He thought that empathy was a myth, and then just basically trans people are subhumans. There's some of his philosophy is rather problematic.
Yes, with God's love.
With God's love. God would love all his children equally, regardless of if they're trans or non-trans, immigrants or non-immigrants, or anything along those lines. Just saying.
Yeah, so there's some little problematic areas of her statement, but it's her truth, and she's going to run with it. Awesome. Now, the thing that caught me on this is that she starts with the very specific term they killed. Yes, so it's always in the pronouns. It's they. Okay, can we be a little more specific on who you think they are?
Yes. And that's a problem, because there's an assumption, right?
Right.
They are the people that are against good Christian values and against God's word and against patriotism, and especially when you throw the word patriotism in there. The left certainly looks at people that call themselves patriots, shakes their head and calls them Christian white nationalists and nationalism. And nationalism is not patriotism, it's nationalism. And so it makes it seem like her anger and ire is going to be directed at those who would view her husband as a nationalist rather than a patriot. And we know that the MAGA crowd all call themselves patriots, and Charlie Kirk really resonated with the MAGA crowd. So it would be non-MAGA with the assumption of non-patriots, which is usually to the left. But
yes, unfortunately, the inconvenience of this statement is kind of the background and the characteristics of the person that actually pulled the trigger. So you've got a young white male, grew up in a conservative Republican household, very religious. The family was very supportive of Donald Trump and patriotism.
Yep.
This kid, he had a Donald Trump costume for Halloween. He had a costume that was a meme. He had a striped shirt. It was like this frog meme, but this frog is like a white nationalist. It's been co-opted by the white nationalists.
Yeah, the frog is known as Pepe the Frog, and he was wearing a black sweat outfit, like an Adidas sweat outfit with like the 3 white stripes. Right, yeah. And he was posing in such a way as to look like Pepe the Frog wearing the same outfit. So this young man was very much in the meme culture and mimicking the memes that are out there. By mimicking Pepe the Frog, Pepe the Frog is, again, the far extremist rights have usurped this, but it falls under the Nick Fuentes crowd. And this is almost like the rap wars. Tupac versus Biggie versus other folks. And the Nick Fuentes people feel that Charlie Kirk is milquetoast. He is not far right enough for their liking. And they want to go even more extreme and even more radical. So Gary and I were talking a little bit about this before we started. If Erika Kirk is serious and sincere, and I suspect she's both, on having whoever offed her husband, pay the price, I hope she's willing to go in any direction it takes her, because if she thinks that it's going to take her on a left turn, she might be quite surprised to find out it goes to the right instead. Yep. And is she willing to go after those people that did this?
Yes, that silenced her husband's message.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because, the young man that killed her husband, it's really kind of weird. He's what I would call a stupid kid that hasn't quite figured it out yet. Okay. Technically, he's an adult. He's 22 years old. But
we were all 22 at one point. We know that we're still a bunch of idiots at 22.
Yeah, you're just a knucklehead. And so this guy's, I don't think he's quite figured out what he stands for and what he believes in, because he's a little bit all over the map. And we don't know what his actual motivation for shooting and killing Charlie Kirk was.
Exactly. That hasn't been released yet.
So that's kind of the unknown component of all this. So I guess 8.5 minutes in, we should probably throw a card, right? So let's take a look at I want to take a look at the general energy around Charlie Kirk's wife. Is it Erika, David?
Yeah.
Okay. Around Erika Kirk, and kind of where she is, where she's going, what's this looking like, and then we'll just sort of dive into it from there. Entertainment purposes only.
And remember, folks, her husband's he's been dead for a couple of days in a very sudden and shocking way. She's really in a state of mourning. So we need to give her some room here. Let's not be too harsh and judgmental on her. Okay. Perfect card to start. This type of reading, I'm expecting to see a lot of wands. So we're starting with the Knight of Wands. She's picked up the torch, and she's going to carry it forward. She's going to carry that message. She's going to carry those actions. If you want a card that has a battle cry, you're going to get this or the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Swords, right? So Knight of Wands, cross with the Four of Cups, just in a bad emotional place. Life has just dealt her a really crappy hand, and she's not in a good place emotionally.
She's unhappy with what's in front of her. You know, if given time, she'll find her balance and she'll find her peace. Energy underneath this is the Empress. This is the Mama Bear. Mm-hmm. Mama Bear, Daddy Bear is gone, and now Mama Bear is mad, and Mama Bear is going to take it forward. In the past, Page of Cups, hey, this is all about supporting my husband and his ideals of patriotism and God, what were the messages there? I got to find the quote again. Patriotism, faith, and God's love. Okay, so Page of Cups. That's kind of the MAGA platform, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Current situation is the Seven of Pentacles. It's this is kind of that looking to the future. How can I add value? How can I harvest the crop that my husband had sown? This is the reap what you sow card, and she's looking to reap the fruits of her husband's labor. There's that King of Cups, overarching energy, the King of Cups. It's time to calm down. It's time to master your emotions. It's time to calm down. I think this is going to be the theme from this whole situation with Charles Kirk's assassination, his murder. He was not assassinated. He was murdered. The King of Cups is going to be a card that we're going to see. The lesson to be learned is the Star. Within a democracy, we have lots of freedoms. We have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, we have the freedom to organize. There's a whole bunch of freedoms here. There's consequences if you abuse these freedoms. But the best of democracy really embraces these freedoms. And the outcome is the Ace of Pentacles. She's going to bring her own set of values. She's going to. This is kind of a beginning card. Things of value are going to be brought forth. That's her mission now.
I want to get a feeling for who does she think is responsible for the killing of her husband? Kind of trying to understand who she believes, quote unquote, they are. So let's take a look at that. Foundation of the Reed is the Page of Cups. Oh, there's hope. There's hope. This is my card for MAGA, but it could also go to the Groypers, which are the Nick Fuentes crowd.
They're just crazy.
Crossed with the Knight of Swords, and underneath is the Knight of Wands. I think, honestly, she might actually believe it's the far right that had a bigger beef with her husband, and that she's going after them with that. That, or she's going to wait to see if the Fuentes crowd unites with her in her battle. It might be that she's trying to take some of them back. That's interesting. In the past, you've got heartbreak and betrayal. I have some hope with this because it would be easy to think that it's the opposite political party that killed your husband. But it's funny because generally speaking, the left don't assassinate people or kill people. They get angry and write strongly worded letters. They get angry because they want to help people, and they get mad when people don't want to help people. The folks on the rights are the ones that usually get really upset when you don't agree with them and then go to violence to force you to agree with them.
Yeah, because that was an interesting card because with the first three cards, I'm thinking, nope, they is the boogeyman, liberal, unpatriotic Democrat, and then throw every single bad adjective at it, even though none of them don't make sense. Where they call them fascist, socialist, authoritarianist. It's just like you're mixing far left and far right.
So you think the party of blue hair, nose piercings, avocado toast, and chai lattes who want health care for all killed your husband because he thought that God was number one and there should be a hierarchy with men on top. Yeah, that it doesn't really line up particularly well.
No. But you could see where those cards could do it. It's the crazy people that acted rashly.
Sure.
They brought this action forward.
This could be your trans leftist. But for me, this is more the MAGA card. It's an extremist card. But here's the thing. When it's heartbreak and betrayal, you're not expecting the left to betray you. They're already on the opposite side.
Yeah. Unless they're betraying.
This is like-minded folks like the Nick Fuentes who had a falling out and then tried to steal your husband's base and then went after your husband. Because what would happen is the Groypers who followed Nick Fuentes would go to Charlie Kirk debates and then ask him more and more nationalistic questions to try and paint him as a liberal, as somebody who's not conservative enough.
Let's keep going. Yeah, there you go. We got the same
current situation is the 7 of coins. So two things with that. It's reaping what you sow. The Nick Fuentes, who stands to gain from the killing of Charlie Kirk? It's not the left that gains from this, because there will always be a new person to fill that void. So who's filling that void? They're the person who stands to gain from it. And Nick Fuentes is positioned not only to gain from it, but to take folks that were supporters of Charlie Kirk and radicalize them more to become supporters of Nick Fuentes. The other thing I was reading was she had to take steps to protect Charlie Kirk's estate because folks like Trump and others are coming in to try and grift that money out. So part of her thing is she also has to protect the financial stability of Turning Point USA.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
Overarching energy is the 3 of Cups. The celebration. Toasting your cup to this. Going off to the left. The supporters. Who are the supporters? Who I think one of the things that's bothering her is who's celebrating this. And that would be the folks on the left. So emotionally, watching the folks on the left celebrate is going to be really hard. It's got her going. But, if you're thinking logically on this one as to who benefits from it, you're torn. Do you go after both the left and the right? Maybe. She has a choice that she needs to make, though.
I better think about it.
The outcome is the 4 of Swords. You better think about it. Think long and hard and use your head, not your emotions. Use your head and think about it. I think this is probably she's gonna have to wait till she's dealt with Charlie, the whole thing with the estate. Let's see, one qualifier, 5 of coins. In dealing with those left out.
We got 2 little kids, right?
Yeah, she has 2 kids. And and maybe that's also part of the motivation, as this was the family cash cow, right?
Yeah. And
now, apparently, something I read or heard was that Charlie Kirk had maybe a net worth of $10 to $15 million. I believe the number I heard was 14. But if we throw away $10 to $15 million range, she'd be pretty well set. She, invest that money and such, and you'll be fine for herself. But I think if the way she's looking at it, she not only wants to look at her kids' financial future, but she doesn't want her values tossed out. And it's like honoring her late husband's values. Will she go off to the left or right? No, she hasn't made up her mind yet. So that's the whole point. She needs to figure that out. And I think that's what the 4 of Swords is. She needs to figure that out. And she might be able to by that 5 of coins. Who's abandoning her? and who's abandoning the values.
Yeah, it's right now she's very vulnerable. You've got Trump's going to give her husband a Medal of Honor. They're going to give him a military. The flags are at half staff. J.D. Vance flew with him to Arizona on Air Force Two. So the people that she has regarded as allies have rallied around her.
Right, but can you trust them? Is really the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this lip service, or what happens afterwards? Charlie always said that he was going to give me $10 million.
Right. What's going to happen afterwards? You've got the Hierophant. This is about government and big organizations.
Join my pack.
The Cross is the Seven of Wands. We need to defend. We have to defend against the far left. You got to keep defending your situation. Underneath it is the World card. This is her world. This is going to be her. This is the world she's going to live in. Page of Wands. We got in the past. We have new messaging coming forth, new actions being taken. Knight of Swords. Charge forth boldly. This is a card that is a lot of action, but it's action not necessarily with a lot of thought.
Yeah, be careful with that.
You may be lashing out or attacking the wrong people. Overarching energy is the Wheel of Fortune. Don't know where it's going yet. It can go either way. A lesson to be learned is heartbreak and betrayal. You're in a vulnerable situation right now.
It's the people that you trust. Only the people you trust can break your heart.
Yep. And the outcome is the Nine of Swords. Just anxiety. Can't believe the situation I'm finding myself in. Nightmare situation.
Man,
she's in a bad place.
I still think she's good.
My gut feeling is they're going to manipulate. They're going to try and manipulate her and make this the left is a boogeyman and they killed your husband. And let's look beyond the facts of who actually pulled the trigger and who fed that anger and that action. Let's look beyond that and just blame the left because it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been trained to believe that the left is the big bad boogeyman. That's all I got.
Yeah. Thank you for watching this video and supporting our channel.
Yeah, it's another uplifting. The last several videos have just simply not been that uplifting.
It's hard times.
Indeed. So let's give a couple of shout outs here. How's that?
Excellent.
Go right to the fun part. I want to give a shout out. I might have to take my glass off. Colleen Cronman. She made a really nice comment. She said that, I just an added comment that has nothing to do with the reading.
Why did I get the tower card for her then?
Oh, I don't know. Because
tower card's not necessarily bad. It's just sudden changes.
She said because of your acts, because of your show, I'm now.
Well, that's easy for you to say.
I know. Well, my camera didn't capture the full quote, but basically, because of your show, she's now doing random acts of kindness when she goes out. And I think that's absolutely marvelous. And Holly, thank you so much. That's like the nicest compliment you can give to David and I. Totally appreciate that.
It's a privilege to be philanthropic. It really is. And I hope you enjoy all the good feelings that you get, and putting the good juju out there allows for good juju to come back to you.
Absolutely. And that's the only one I got. So let's just give a shout out to someone that's in the comments right now for our current video. Oh, hey, it's a new subscriber. Thaanh. It's a Vietnamese name. Is it Tan? But I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but she's Ton says, "Thank you, Gary. Love your vibe. Fairly new subscriber here. Happy to be here. We're happy to have you."
Yes.
And then one last one, Alexandria Cervantes. She says, "I'll watch anything with you guys. Anything you guys put out. It's soothing." Thank you so much.
She's always up for an adventure.
Yes. And then a card for the rest of us, the star card. Let's make sure we embrace all the best aspects of our democracy, all the best aspects of humanity. We're better than this. And, we have to do our best to be patient while those that haven't learned compassion and forgiveness and harmony figure it out. It's just going to take time.
Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.